A letter to God, entitled "The God of Words is Heard with or Without." Finally, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today, richer than gold. Let us pray to keep poor, richly put, a beauty so charmed that naturally every miracle is readier than any test could try itself on love. So how beautiful are both good and bad allowed to be beautiful? Well, it doesn't take convincing for love to be infallible. And as we make love extraordinary, so is love with us. Only as teachable as vulnerability leaves mystery to being worth its trust. Unveiling vulnerably as one soul more convinced than to use convincing. Remembering the faith of the unknown is irresistible as difference. Although the truth of true love is a teacher, the very mystery of true love is still always and only learning how to be the truth, a mystery so feminine that it's the only humanity evident, that to the second realm of joy is the first difference in such man as the art performed by that audience. A rare equal share, richer than gold. However good it is, it's just gotta be better than that of being good. Superimposed holiness is humanity, and all humanity hurries to direct guidance. But that vulnerability is its image. The infinitely immortal morals thought like love and bought like grace. That life is lost. That love is found. That life never loses love. It's the freest fear to hope out in the power of such a prayer, says the soul, fearing everything other than setting free fear itself. With everything other than before the light, vulnerability is the most built room for change. Just as anything added to the revelation of itself was tested so of its vulnerability to increase in that power. Of the soul, more immortal to focus than the spirit, but of the spirit, more infinite to focus than the soul. Spiritual livelihood is more revealed by manifestation than evaluation, and motivated so sincere. Far too often, we're infinitely manifested by our vulnerability to be evaluated by any of our self-strength. And while all it vows to us is the idea of a God, it is the most calmly overwhelming infallibility. From written in the vow of revealing life is it interviewed near to all its mystery shall perform. There is power, prominence, and poverty that is greater capability of embracing the true meaning behind God's performance than even the depths of one's worldly done cannot defy, as it is written in the word of God, and choosing the shore's breath prepared us for destruction. For faith leaves no reason to turn away and wonder why. Though there is no criteria to qualify fate, it goes as far possible as impossibility rates. It is that of God, more unique than any and all of the most infinite fate. And only on average is it the most infinite number one presenting more in all reinforcements. So taken, can the eyes only hold their imagination? Bring the thought to vulnerability, reminding it of the strength it's brought from the behalf, brings the news to joy slower than surprise. That is all we have to bring from what happened to infinity. The news that stayed slow was less premeditated because there was more detail and less time, falling newer from now. Now superior to the search, to be as willing as the lift. If any of it was ever good and bad, or bad and good, it was better the whole time. Because it said good to be as well organized as the soul law. If dreaming is a spaceless time, then most likely it's a timeless space. A space overruled by and as the uncontainable more than more, and slept sudden loose all the sorts psychologically laboring agility, so created by its performance that it moves from beyond as all forms of force, tested both on enabling the fully durable existence of destination to meet the score, and measuring all living existence sealed of revelations emptily open. We are at all the world's first, latest update that ever met us. That God could grow any younger than born. Is heavenly so? Measuring our treasures, our likely gratitude, and more than ownership anyhow. More equal than the count, more often than in the way. There are two roads to love: to move love, or to be moved by love. To move love is the inner understanding. To be moved by love is the instant planning. The idea of it is so good to the heart that and no escaping it, do we find more freedom along the way. Jesus is the inner understanding, God is the instant planning. As sure as the heart's livelihood, all very infinite, that the only hope is our soul, one more of the world, advertised more informed than words. I wonder if God was ever been any godlier. I died, Jesus humbled for free. Who of us to Christ is the ageless time, cradles of earth, so heavenly, but all the very compliments of God? Isn't it vulnerability that vows life, to lift freer than victory? We know not but find more willing the skill to do so, and those who learned and planned learn the most. Knowing more about what we don't than what we do, but with what we do, with all the problematic advancements to be made in life's honor, what we do is just closer, cost and soft by the cure, a commandment life has with all its senses, every possible weakness for every possible strength. As ever of God, as a surrounding essence of an all-particle expanse, solution, so intangible upon arrived, opened to its vulnerability, bound to such a heroically to change, no matter how withheld or infinite it is to make something of its riches, that it's freer than that cost. To any of its all-powerfully reigning creativity, the miracle of such a brilliantly blended body, humbler than any strength, something to be loved by more than we love. How we love is a way of worshiping the most favorably kept score of most exclusive access to how it's yet to exist. The mystery is merely how reclined endurance is. The earthliest heaven, the inner only way heaven comes from somewhere else, as thinkable as the intendants, feared fast, found slow, and wished no further than wonder. Are we how much it costs for God to be God? The fear wondered so worthy of all tested true, so immediately worthy of all tested true, that it could only be necessary for any surplus of its infinite influence to be immeasurably found out of the way, more than almost freely superior to its freely found supervision. When we're invisible to our eyes, everything else is brighter about us. Miracles mean more than they make. That's just how infinitely they were made. To fulfill the life of the definition's complete independence. Stronger than the weakness that is, and weaker than the weakness that isn't. And if the offering is as full as everything, only vulnerability can change the infinite to its extent. The last thought in the lead is still always somehow the first one to believe. When Jesus had the world for a name, how is it that makes a God out of the begotten intensity of humanity's holiness? How is it to fulfill all the new mysteries that marvel God? For the fate given to be taken from time's speed of arrival at such an eternally slowing of all its powers from our release, yet only to be received all around inside, having a point of infinite return. If fast and slow were ever racing to be readier than each other, then they probably are. As patient as God pre-primed, as only youth can mature in remembrance of compassion, it came to be, and from all past the Spirit are free to take, are very impressed. They just put it in everyone else and everything else as one of who they are, one of God, with mystery always on display. However, now God has become truth to please, new in the ways of finding all true. We may as godly well have all holiness poured than we advance. A vulnerability tested positive for a hopeful thing could solve wilder than its own ownership. To be or not to be asks more of being's will. The only bride of mankind, woman, is just the live likelihood of that mankind. I say this knowing more about what it feels like to say it than what I'm saying as a matter of faith. That vulnerability is the author of Sacrifice Ologies. Only vulnerability is worth the savings. How closer than reach does all the evidence go its own way? Like being vulnerably newer than complain. Like when the veil was torn and the miracle assured the lame counter to heal, but the lameness evident of the miracle's saving. The evident then miraculously enhanced itself. A vulnerability only is most expressive as to be outlived, understood by more than expressed. What else would have been here before us to be more of? The newest thought is the preview of the present. Yet newer than that is the present point of view. Believed, more faithful than fact, can debate It's dreamt of. Such signs are more mortal than facts. I would go so far as to say, that God decides before thought worthy of it, and that infinite, leading life to flash before our very eyes, taking the easiest moments and the most challenging moments, and averaging them out as only as familiar as the ease would naturally lead when set to such sorts, to focus in on all of the now, so shines good grace. These kinds of thoughts are family, only to be as multitasking as a family of thoughts, only sacrifice can gather, yielding one thought to the next. God's very artistic architecture of the mind. Hope is the address of that love, only lived out all in good faith. How blessed is beauty crazy about itself? How crazy did the cure go to reach it? Any unexpected learning skill must be of spirit, because it's only of spirit that is as trustworthy as all one can think of so infinitely. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, can 1,000 tests have the same answer? Can identical tests experience the same answer differently? Can the very thought completely involved to bless come without initiative? I answered, poor is all the generosity around being an entertainer of any education. So freed by hope is newer. It's a loveless saying, only to be found by faith, all only as likely as one God. Is beauty the only law? It's everywhere, and everywhere within. Go there. So poor for more. The more access our works have to us, the bigger the brilliance is built to gather ourselves from the belief of how vulnerable it is, becoming less to enough, incomplete, as less of anyhow takes from all, other than is vulnerable, is so creative. Our vulnerability is witnessing every word out of our minds the most. Lifting vulnerability to love's level of light is as learned of art as before it's left up to it. As wildly happy as even tears are truer than laughter. The emotions of one are the tribute to all. The unprotested protector is as humor to us. Such is the soul. Isn't it funny how bowing down up to God is like a best man speech in a wedding town? Isn't that mankind though? All things of any imposing God parted mankind's way. Infinitely founded language chosen kept to self, if anyhow probably, as only forsaken for, as for one more of how. As inventive as love is only about now. How keen does vulnerability keep the score schooling? How clearly God covenants godliness. How close can we get vulnerability for free? Kept holy vulnerability as good as holy gets. Ribbon in our eyes, calmer than the conscience. For the conscience, yes, mystery reflected, an organized coincidence. How granted a vulnerability in a world of pathologically fitting more of it. such as vulnerability is the direction of light truer of itself. The vulnerability is how much all the content of space, time, and force is only as unconscious as it could ever, and likewise did, get through to its consciousness, set forth to free the way of lifting vulnerability into itself and out of its way. The universal language of faith, hope, and love, the momentum of all universal act, so mysterious to its theatrical eventuality of inheriting now a vulnerability lighter than life, that it's only so of love. Why did the truth have to torture Jesus' trust? Is that how much he trusted the cross? Maybe somehow, when we torture our trust, far from doing so, we find how far we get from idolizing our trust, and how close we get to trust carrying the sacrifice. I shall